been at this now for almost 4 years. I first of all want to ask, how are you feeling right now sitting in that chair?
In the last 14 months, our village has really come to light. And certainly for the first 3 years that this job was more serious, I probably wasn't as a happy camper or as a smiling guy as it has been the last year and a half. So we made some big inroads. I'm happy with where we're going, and I hope the residents can see over the next few months the job we've done to get this thing straightened around, especially our financial situation.
Where's the village at financially right now, and how are you not just feeling about it, but what can you tell us about the state of the village financially?
You know, when I took office in the Village of Lansing, we were $3 million in the hole in the refuge department. Residents know that we outsourced our garbage. We had an issue where we had about $1,300,000 in some unpaid bills back from 6 months prior to that time. I had to go out and borrow $1,300,000 from the local bank. We since have paid that money back in 3 years. We have continued to give the services, whether it's police or fire and public works. We're still giving the residents the same kind of service. So we're proud of that. We reduced our insurance costs about $280,000 a year on the new plan that we have with our risk management group. We've had an ongoing process probably for the first couple of years. The other issue is that when I became the mayor, we were looking at like 1 to 2 homes a week foreclosures and people just getting up and leaving homes. Last year, from the Board of Realtors in our community, 312 homes have been sold in this community. Our foreclosure in the last year is almost gone now. I duly believe that in the last year and a half, the economy has changed. We're seeing a brighter future for our community, and I hope that the people and residents see that. This is a bar graph put together for our village board. We've gone from a $40 million expenditure to practically almost right at $30 million.
You almost have a balanced budget
Yes.
at this point.
And actually, the last 3 years, we balanced our budget by our expenditures. Unfortunately, our income was not generated as much as we anticipated.
If you're looking at the Village of Lansing as your business, you've got a good gut feeling about where the business of the Village of Lansing is right now?
Yeah. There was a big issue in the past 3 years over our police and fire pension. We didn't do away with the police and fire pension. There was an issue that we had to correct, and we've eliminated that. It's just a number of issues that were not easy tasks to take on. Our village employees didn't get a raise for 3 years. This past year, we were able to give them a small raise. You know, the light at the end of the tunnel is much, much brighter.
You want to build a professional team here in Lansing. You have this goal of leaving the administration in better shape when you go, whenever that is, than what it was when you came. So talk a little bit about the professional team that you've been putting together and how you feel about them.
Well, recently, our latest hiree was Fabian Newman. He's our new communications and IT director. I think many people who are sort of savvy on technology will see that our website will be brand new in about a month. Fabian has done a phenomenal job in our communications department and has really brought the communications technology to our residents that we really needed to get out and let them be more informed about what this village is doing. TJ Grossi is our new building commissioner. We've had, at least the last couple of years, people talking about people keeping up their homes. So we're going to go after that a little bit better to try to get the people encouraged a little bit more about keeping their home up and increasing the value of our homes. We're going to put together in May and June of this year, this spring, our building department is going to offer for 2 months a no permit fee. So homeowners who want to do some remodeling in their home can apply for permits so we can do the inspection, but they will not have to pay the fee. This is the time to get a freebie from the village. We're excited to do that because we think it's not so much the money permit that we need. We need to encourage people to maybe what they've been wanting to do, but they didn't have the extra money because they didn't want to pay $200 or $300 for a permit. To sort of help cushion that.
How do you as mayor, or how do you as an administration lead that team? What are your focuses? What are you really dreaming about doing with that team?
The biggest thing about it is the communication with residents. We're here to serve the community in a friendly way. The people that we've taken on, I can tell you, believe me, they understood when they got this job that we serve the people of the community. We don't get paid just because we have a job. The people of this community pay us, and we must show as much as we can our desire to want to help our residents.
In the past, we've also had communications with your new village administrator and the director of
Planning and Development.
Talk a little bit about both those individuals and those, may I say, those offices in terms of what they're doing for the Village of Lansing.
I'd like to start off with the Planning and Development Director. Ever since she's been here, which is like 16 months now, she's been on fire, I like to say, on new businesses into this community.
This is Christy DeLaurentis.
Christy DeLaurentis. We've had a lot of people coming to our community inquiring about our town, what's available, whether it's a building or land is available. You know, a lot of times when residents feel that the village is not doing much about economic development, it takes 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 months to develop something with a new perspective. Christy's been really busy with that. I think Christy will leave here at 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock when I leave. I often have to say, come on, Christy, we had enough for today, let's go home, you know? So she's been very dedicated. Our village administrator, I look at it as like a police chief and a fire chief. You know, we have the police department run by a professional person who has the schooling, the knowledge about how to run a police department. That's not my job. I don't know how to run a police department. And I think it's the same with the fire department. The fire chief goes to school, he learns how to run a fire department, he runs a program for paramedics. We felt that when we picked our new village administrator, Jay Weinsma, he was the person that we needed as a professional person. I'm a businessman by trade, an insurance businessman for 40 years. But when you get into this job, there's so many complications that a business person doesn't know about, where a professional person like a village administrator knows, has gone to school, gone to college, just like a police and fireman. We must change our direction. And so with that, we hired a village administrator. And so my new job, as time will go on, will be spending most of my time with economic development and with Christy DeLaurentis. Whether you want to say it or not, a mayor who comes into this position, who doesn't know how to deal with making deals with big corporate companies, that's what a village administrator is trained by. I had a lot of that knowledge from being a trustee, but you don't have that much knowledge as much as a village administrator. I give all the credit to my village board for accepting the fact that we must make a change, and we made that change. And I think the residents over the next couple of years will be in a town that they'll be proud to live in.
What about the business community? What about the businesses that either are going away or coming in? Where are things at with bringing new businesses into town and making things happen?
All over across this beautiful country of ours, the economy has been very bad. I talked to the manager of the Peterbilt Truck Company at a chamber luncheon just last month. He said, Mayor, our expectations, what we thought we would do at our service center, is way ahead of what we anticipated. They're in a process in the spring to expand and now build another building across the street from where they're at for their sales center for selling Peterbilt tractors. That's a lot of sales tax for the Village of Lansing. Those are the Cadillac of trucks. And so we anticipate a lot of good truck sales out of that new sales office. We also are in the process of making an announcement next month regarding the Torrance Avenue Ridge where the currency exchange is now. We also are in the process at Torrance and Ridge. We're going to expand that Torrance Avenue interchange and straighten it out and get a turn lane going north for those people that every morning to go to work, they have to wait for 2 or 3 stoplights in order to make a turn. So that's going to be really a great improvement on that corner. We also have Pan of Gold Bakery, who came in on Bernice Road. They're a distribution depot and hired 14 new employees. Luby's Pancake House will be opening at the end of the month. IHOP has recently got all their plans together to build a new IHOP pancake house at where the old Bob Evans restaurant was. The other thing that we did is we provided a new incentive for our downtown businesses in Lansing. We'll pay for half the cost of remodeling their facade in the front of their business. It's really an exciting time. It's finally, I can say from the hard work we've done for the last 4 years, the residents are going to be happy with what we're doing.
Speaking of that Ridge Road corridor, does that directly connect with the work that was done a year or so ago on the whole TIF district area, and that's kind of bringing some fruit now?
Yes, we've created some additional revenue from extending that TIF. We also have in the process of a 9-month study and a comprehensive plan, and what we're going to be doing is trying to get the churches, the schools, the public, all businesses involved in our comprehensive plan to tell us, what do you want to see Lansing look like in 15 years? It's going to develop a plan that we're going to set forth and say, this is what we're going for.
Having sat in that chair now for the last 4 years, how do you feel about the, may I say, the spiritual health, the emotional spirit of of the Village of Lansing right now?
I hope to believe that people see the light at the end of the tunnel for themselves. I'm just excited at the fact that it's taken 4 years to get here, but sometimes, like I said earlier, you got to get the tires flat on your car. You got to get them filled up and fix all the problems before you can really go ahead. And the first 3 years were really tough for me. I'm blessed the fact that my board and the decisions they made to give me to do what I had to do, I thank them for that. I think that the village residents hopefully hear this session, what's happening today, will be proud of where our community's gone and where we're going.
What do you want to say to the residents here in the Village of Lansing about the state of the village now and where it's going?
I really believe the Village of Lansing has a great future. I love this community. It's been my life to, in the last 4 years, to make this community a better place to live.
Do you feel that the job is done or the job is not done?
No, the job is not done. The job is just starting to for me, burn my interior to say we're on fire. And when I became the mayor, our bond issue fell from a AA to a B. Corporate America looks at a community they want to go into, and they see that the town hasn't got a very good financial rating. It's something that they don't really look to say, this is a town we want to be in. Our bond rating, since I took office, is now back to an A1. We're told by Moody's and the people who rate our financial rating, hopefully by the end of the year we'll be a AA. A AA is a great place to be when you're looking at economic development. That's some of the things we had to do to get us in a position where when corporate America looks at Lansing, hey, they got a AA rating, they must know what they're doing. I can't talk enough about this community because the community I lived in all my life. I love this community. And for those who have lived here many years, maybe not as many as mine, 30, 40 years, they're here because they like this community. And I think certainly for the new people coming in our community, especially new families with children, our school district has rebuilt all of the schools in our community. Yes, the taxes have been a little bit high, but the fact that they got to look at when somebody's looking at buying these 280 homes that are for sale in town, they're going to ask first, what about schools? And they're going to see that this community has, by 2014, almost every school will be brand new. That's a heck of a community to come into. So I think with the new schools in our community, the things that we're doing, economic development, this is a place to come and live.